What's up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing us how to cut and sew a scrub top. So you can see what I'm putting on. This is literally my style, and I'm just going to be showing you guys how I did this from start to finish. So I promise the tutorial is very easy in such a way that both the beginners and also people that know how to sew can also follow up in this tutorial step by step. So my next video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to create the trouser. So in this video, it's just this crop top. So now let's get into the video. First of all, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please guys join the family by hitting on that subscribe button and also giving me a thumbs up. It helps, it goes a long way to help my channel and also to get me into the algorithm. Thank you very much, guys. So first of all, you see me draw a line here. So that line stands for the shoulder point. Now the next thing you're going to do is to measure from your shoulder to your bust point. So what we're doing here is to take the vertical measurements first before we go ahead and then place our horizontal measurements. So at this point now, from my shoulder to my bust point is 10 inches. Now from my shoulder down to where the top is going to stop. So the length is 27 inches. That's what I just marked out there. Move your tape to the other side and also repeat the same measurements. Then use your ruler to connect the lines together. So now let's come over to the neckline, that's on the shoulder line. Mark 3 inches here. Turn your tape over to this other side and also mark 3 inches here. But first of all, mark 1 inch, which will now serve as the back neckline. Then mark 3 inches at this point. Then what you're going to do is to connect these lines together, just like how you see me do. So if you have your curve tape, your curve ruler, just go ahead and make use of this. If you don't have it, then use your free hands to draw it just like the way I did mine. The next thing is for us to mark out our shoulder measurement. So my shoulder measurement is 15 inches. So I divided that by 2 and I'm going to be having 7.5 inches. So at that point now, this is what I'm marking. Then at that 7.5 inches mark, come down by 1 inch. Then after that, you're going to be using your ruler to connect that dots back to the neckline. Now the next thing for us to do is to mark out the armhole depth. So for me, I'm going to be marking around my armhole and then I'm going to be dividing that by 2. So from this point now, I'm going to be marking 8 inches down here. So now you can also notice that if I'm going to go up on my bust points, I can be going up there with 1 inch or 1.5 inches and it will still come out the same thing. So just go ahead and then divide yours by 2 and then mark that out. So now what you're going to do is to go in with your ruler and then connect these points down here. And then you're going to flip your ruler over like this. Then draw the line outwards in this manner. This will now form our chest line. So the next thing you're going to do is to find the midpoint of this our armhole depth. So what you're going to do is to fold your tape like this and then this will now be the midpoint. This is just the easiest way to find this. So just go ahead and then mark that point down. Then rotate your tape like this and then mark 1/2 inch inwards. Okay, just mark 1/2 inch inwards like this. Come over to the chest line and then mark 2 inches. And then from that shoulder point, connect the dots together and then try to draw the curve, the armhole curve, and make sure that it sits on that 2 inches mark that we drew. This will now form the armhole depth for the front. Then go ahead and do the same thing to the other dots that was already there. That will now form the armhole depth for the back. At this point, you will notice that we did not have our waist measurements here. I left that out for a reason, but at this point now, I think I'm going to be including that. So my shoulder to my waist measurement is 16, and I'm going to use my ruler to rule a line and then connect the dots I marked together. So what I'm going to be doing now is just to label this. So this is my waistline, so I will not forget. So the next thing we're going to be doing now is to mark out our horizontal measurements. So divide your bust measurement into 4 and whatever it is you have, mark it out here, including 2 inches. So move down to your waistline and also do the same thing. Divide your waist measurement by 4 and also mark that out and include 2 inches there. Then do the same thing also on your hip measurement. In your ruler and then connect these lines together. So the next thing we are going to be doing at this point is for us to add our seam allowance. So the seam allowance we are going to be adding here is 1.5 inches. So just go ahead and then use your tape to include that. Then use your ruler to connect the lines together. So remember that when you're cutting these out on your fabric, that this area is supposed to be on fold, okay? so that you'll not end up having two pieces at this area. So up next is for us to cut out the patterns. So right now, just notice how I'm going to be cutting this. So you're going to be cutting out the one for the back first before we now go ahead and then cut out the ones for the front. So we have both the front and the back pattern here in this particular pattern. So we're not going to be making the one for the back since we're not going to be using any zipper on this. So just watch how I'm going to cut it. So as you notice, I just cut out the neckline for the back, and I'm also going to be cutting out the armhole for the back, leaving the one for the front there. So for the fabric I'm using is 100% cotton fabric, and this is 4 yards. Now 100% cotton fabric, one, it is not transparent, okay, and it's not stretchy. So take note of the fabric that you're going to be using for this. It has a little bit of weight to it, okay, but though it's not that heavy, just it's still lightweight. Now what we're going to be doing is to place the pattern paper on top of it like this. Then you're going to go ahead and then cut around this. So remember to place this on fold. So place the same paper on top of another folded fabric. Then you're going to go ahead and then cut it out. So right now you're going to be cutting out, leaving 1/2 inches downward, just like what you see me do. Then we are going to be cutting out the front part. Now the first one that we did was for the back. So just notice how I'm going to be cutting this. So at this point now we are going to be cutting out the armhole all together for the front, and also we are going to be cutting out the neckline for the front part here. So I'm going to shape this place a little bit because our hip point is not really as straight or really out the way this pattern looks. So I'm just going to go ahead and then shapen this place a bit, just take it out small. Also do the same thing for the back pieces. So coming down to the neckline, this is what you're going to do. So from the shoulder point, you're going to be marking 9 inches downwards. Then I'm going to be folding my tape over like this, where we have that 1 inch. Now from that 1 inch, you're going to be seeing it as my 0 inches. So I'm going to be counting from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to bring it down here to my fabric, and I'm going to be marking down that 0.6 inches here. Now I'm going to be connecting the line from the neckline down to that 0.6 inches line. So just notice how I did this. So I started from the top, okay? The next thing is for you to go ahead and then cut it out. Now after cutting that out, the next thing you're going to do is to go ahead and then cut 4 of this in that particular fabric. Now this is 2 inches by 12 inches. Now you're also going to cut another one again on a black fabric, okay, preferably a black cotton fabric. Even if it's cotton lining, there's no problem. Still 2 inches and then 10 inches or 12 inches. Now you're going to go ahead and then iron down your interfacing on each one of them, and then you're just going to go ahead and then cut them out. Now coming back to the neckline, you're going to be marking 0.5 inches down on the neckline, around the neckline. Then you're going to be using a ruler to connect them together. Now once you're done, this is what you're going to be doing to this other black one. Just fold this over like this, then bring in your iron and then just iron it down. The next thing you're going to do is for us to bring in this other one, then bring in the black one, okay, like one of each of them. Then you're going to bring in the second piece of the green and then place it on top, just sew it down at that point. Now the next thing you're going to do is to open it up like this, and then go ahead and then just give it a very nice press, just iron it down. The next thing you're going to do is to bring them in like this. Then remember that yellow line, that's 0.5 inches that we drew. Just place it on top of it like this. Also place this other one on the other side, then just go ahead and sew it down on that very line. So once you're done, this is what you're going to do. Now open up this point here, and remember this point that we drew here. You're going to have a little bit of arc here, then just go ahead and then snip that place open a little. And also do the same thing to this other part. Just cut it open at this axis here. Once you're done, you just go ahead and then fold it over like this. Now once you fold it over like this, be sure that it is overlapping on each other, all right? Like it's just being placed at the same position and it's overlapping like this, so you can have it sitting very nice, neat and beautiful, just like what you see me do. Then go ahead and then iron it down so that it can come out looking very smooth and neat. Now once you're done, fold it over like this and then bring this place down and then sew it here, just directly at that point, so that you can secure it down so it wouldn't be coming up when you wear it. All right, so that is just it. So once you turn it over, you should have something that looks like this. So what I'm going to be doing next is to go ahead and then top stitch on top of this place like this. We're going to top stitch around here 2 times. Okay, so for the pocket, I am marking 6 inches for the length, then by 7 inches for the width. So once I'm done connecting the lines together, I'm going to be coming in here with my tape. Then from this point, I'm going to be marking 3 inches here. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and then connect that 3 inches line down to where the beginning of this pocket is. So the next thing is to cut it out in the fabric, and also please make sure you're cutting out 4 pieces of this. That is 2 for one side and also 2 for the other side. And also when cutting, please leave ½ inches around it, right? So you can have what you use to bend it or to fold it over. The next thing is for us to cut this very fabric again. And what we have here is 10 inches by 1.5 inch. So just like how we did the first one, just go ahead and then fold it over like this. And then just go ahead and then give it a very nice press. So here's what you're going to do. After you must have finished ironing them, just bring it over like this and place it on top of the pocket. Then go ahead and then sew it down like this. Also do the same thing to the other one. Now once you're done, go ahead and then fold it over to the other side. And please, before you do this, please just go ahead and then weave the other side so that it will not come out looking rough. Okay, so once you fold it over, just iron it out like this. Just do the same thing to the 4 of them. Once you're done, go ahead and top stitch on top of this point like this 2 times. So just go ahead and also do the same thing to the rest of them. Now once you're done, bring in the front piece. Now from your shoulder, mark 19 inches down. And then this is where the pocket is going to start from. Now go ahead and then place the pockets on top of the front piece like this, okay? Just place one overlapping on each other so that this style can definitely come out. Just play around with it anyhow you want to place this, but be sure to place them on that 19 inches mark. All right, now once you're done, just go ahead and then stitch on the corners around it. Be sure to fold ½ inch inwards before you go ahead and then stitch around it. Now at this point I was so tired, so I had to just go ahead and then just dish myself some meal. You can come and join me. But that's by the way. Okay, so back to business. Now coming back to the back neckline, what we're going to do is this. Get a fabric like this and then place it at the back. So I'm just going to go ahead and then trim away the excess. And once you're done, what you're going to be doing is this. Just go ahead and then iron down an interfacing on this. So just go ahead and then sew around the neckline of the back piece. I don't know if you understand. Just sew around the neckline of the back piece so that once you turn it over, the side that you ironed the interfacing will not be facing inwards, like inside the fabric. So this is how mine is looking like. This is what I was talking about. So that once you just go ahead and then snip around this part, just go ahead and then snip around this area so that it will be easier. Once you fold it in, it will just lay nice and flat. So once I fold mine in, this is what it's looking like so far. So once you're done, just go ahead and then iron it down. So as you can see, it's looking very neat. It makes the neckline look very neat. So once you're done, just go ahead and top stitch around the main neckline and also around this area. So the distance from the main neckline to where you're going to be doing the second stitch is just 2 inches difference, okay? Just 2 inches apart. So just take notes. So the next thing for us to do is for us to join the shoulder points together. So now we are going to be bringing in the back shoulder neckline, and then we are going to be stitching the shoulder in, both for the front and also for the back. We're just going to go ahead and then stitch them down together. So once you're done and then you end up flipping it over, it should look something like this. So as you can see, then the neckline is already looking very neat. So yours should also come out looking very neat like this. Now here's what you're going to do. You're going to fold this over like this, and then you're going to go ahead and then top stitch on top of this place double times. Also do the same thing to these other parts. So the next thing for us to do now is for us to go ahead and then attach the handle. Before we attach the handle, we are going to prepare it first. So now fold 1/2 inch in and also go ahead and then fold it on top here with just 1 inch. Okay, so now what you're going to do now here is this. Once you fold it over like this, please just go ahead and then iron it. Then the black fabric that we had, we are going to also go ahead and then cut that out again. Now what we're going to be doing at that point now is for us to insert the black parts inside. Now watch what I'm going to do. Now I've folded the 1/2 inch. Now this is the 1 inch I'm folding on top. Now in between this 1 inch now and the sleeve is where I'm going to be inserting the black stuff, the black cotton fabric. So just go ahead and then put that there in between. Then just go ahead and then top stitch at this point 2 times. All right, then do the same thing to the other sleeves. Now once you're done, you should have something that looks like this. Now go ahead and then top stitch around this armhole also twice. So once you're done, the next thing for us to do is just to go ahead and then close the side seams. But then once you are closing the side seam, be sure to leave like 3 inches or almost 4 inches downwards so that we can have an opening by the side, by the both sides. Then go ahead and then hem around the down part. So once you're done, you should have something that looks like this. Thank you very much guys for watching this video. Please subscribe. If you find value in this video, please share it so that other people can also have a hold on it. And also please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. The tutorial for the trouser is going to be coming up very soon. That's after this one. So please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And until next time, see you guys. Bye.